empezar. Vamos a empezar y muy buenos días, buenos días. Hace fresco. ¡Oh! Tengo una sudadera, sí, tengo una camisa de manga larga, bien, sí, no es de manga corta, no, es de manga larga. Y hace fresco, it's cool. Por fin. Okay, vamos a empezar. I need to open up with this first because I have this question come from a couple people, and this always comes in the fall. Scasiel divides fall session really in reality into two classes. One that runs September through end of October, and one that runs November through about mid-December, getting close to Christmas time, not quite up to Christmas time. Okay, and so next week is technically our last week of that first fall session. And if you did not yet, because there are a few folks, if you did not yet sign up for November through mid to late December for that session, you still can just do it online. But there are a few of you, if you still wish to sign up for the second half, don't forget to do that. And that's because a lot of people, they sign up for one class and they think they're done for the whole fall, but in fact, you have to sign up for two classes. So, para que sepan, just so you know. Yeah, it's kind of a funky thing that does not happen in winter, spring, or summer. It only happens in the fall because they split it into two courses. So if you want to keep going through November, December, please do remember to sign up. Okay, vale. Vamos a practicar muchísimo con le, verbos que usan el pronombre le, verbs that use that le. We're going to use a lot of that. I do want to show you the little pictures we'll be using because I don't know, well, really, you don't need to print them out. Okay, pero vamos a practicar hoy. We're going to practice today with these in just a little while, all these things that I asked you to prep. ¿Qué te parece? How does it seem to you? And we'll go through that in about maybe 5 or 10 minutes after we're done with our warm-up. Okay, pero primero, but first, I want to start off with a little video. She is going to speak all in Spanish. She speaks pretty slowly. I'm going to put subtitles on though, so that you can see it. It is a little something that shows you why we cannot use gustar. Well, we can, but we should not use gustar to talk about people. She's going to tell you, her little story about that. So as our warm-up, because this is only about a 5-minute video, we're going to watch this first, and then we'll take any questions you might have, and then we'll dive into practice. Okay. Ella se llama Ana. Her name is Ana. Y ella va a hablar de don't say this in Spanish. She'll tell you her reaction when somebody used this with her.
Que aprendiste en español fue gustar. A todo mundo le gusta usar gustar, porque es lo que usamos para expresar nuestras preferencias. Seguramente sabes decir algo como me gusta el helado de chocolate o me gustan las películas de terror. Pero muchas veces los estudiantes cometen un error que es bastante chistoso.
So sometimes students make a mistake, cometen un error. They make a mistake that winds up being kind of funny. Bastante chistoso, kind of funny. Bastante means enough, but it's what they use to say kind of or quite. Chistoso is funny. Okay.
Y que la verdad nos confunde mucho a los...
And it confuses us. Nos confunde. And she used another little pronoun, nos confunde. It confounds, it confuses us. Nos confunde. Okay.
Los hablantes nativos. Cuando yo enseñaba clases de español 1-a-1 y ya tenía el podcast, tuve un estudiante nuevo que me dijo, ay, me gusta mucho tu podcast.
So somebody said, oh, I like your podcast a lot. All right, that part did not confuse her. Mm-hmm. Okay, so she said she was teaching somebody one-on-one, and she teaches one-on-one, and she has a podcast. And they said, oh, I like your podcast. Me gusta tu podcast. Okay.
Y yo así como, gracias, qué bueno. Pero después me dijo, me gustas mucho tú y me gusta tu esposo.
Me gustas tú y me gusta tu esposo. Literally, you might say, I like you and I like your husband, because her husband appears on the podcast, but that's not really, that is not the impression it creates on a native speaker. Me gustas y me gusta tu esposo.
Y yo me quedé así de, ¿cómo? ¿Te gusta mi esposo?
¿Te gusta mi? You're attracted to my husband? That's the impression it created. Yeah. Ooh, I'm like, ooh, for your hubby. Yeah, that's the idea it creates. See, me gusta tu esposo. Wow, she thought she was being nice, saying, I like your husband, but the way that hits somebody who's a native speaker is, wow, find your husband very attractive. So that was the impression it created.
Bueno, claro que yo entendía a lo que se refería a esta persona.
Okay, so because she's a native speaker and she teaches people who have English as their first language, she knew that's not really what she meant. But it still hits them that way initially, because that is the expression people use to say that they're attractive.
Sin embargo, la verdad es que sí me sacó de onda, es decir, me confundió un poquito. Esto es porque en español el verbo gustar no funciona igual para cosas o actividades y para personas. Cuando dices me gusta y una cosa o una actividad, simplemente estás diciendo I like this o I like doing this. Sin embargo, cuando usas me gusta con una persona, lo que estás diciendo es que esa persona te parece atractiva.
Te parece atractiva. That person is attractive to you. Okay, so even though she knows English speakers are going to make that kind of mistake, when somebody said it to her one-on-one, it kind of threw her for just, you have that downbeat that you miss because it throws you off, and that threw her off. That somebody said, I find your husband very attractive. So we don't really use gusta with persona. I think she's going to give our alternative.
¿Ves por qué esto puede causar problemas o confusión con los hablantes nativos? En un momento más te voy a decir cuáles son las opciones para decir I like someone, pero no.
She's gonna show you what you use to say you like someone when it's not an attractive. When it's not a sexually attractive situation, to just say that you like somebody as a person, not that you're attracted to them.
Que te parece atractivo. Pero sigamos con este tema de atractivo, de ser atractivo. Tú puedes decir, me gusta Juan, me gusta Diana. Pero si estás hablando directamente con una persona que te parece atractiva y quieres confesarlo, lo que decimos no es me gusta tú. Allí sí tenemos que decir gustas, me gustas. Si este video te está pareciendo interesante, si te gusta este video, ayúdame a darle un me gusta o a suscribirte porque tenemos muchísimas lecciones de vocabulario, tenemos podcast, tenemos comunidad, así que no quieres perdértelo. Ahora sí, te voy a explicar qué hacemos cuando queremos decir que alguien nos parece una buena persona o su personalidad es buena, etc. Lo que decimos en lugar de me gusta es alguna de estas opciones. 1. Puedes decir me agrada. me agrada. Entonces, me agrada David. 2. También puedes decir me cae bien.
And again, this is the funny one that people always, English people find very funny. Me cae bien. Me cae bien David. David falls well on me is, what people use. Or me agrada David. Me agrada David. Me cae bien David. Those are used to say that you like a person in a way that is not physically baby attractive, okay? Just but a regular I like you.
Me cae bien David. Esta palabra bien puede cambiar dependiendo lo que quieres decir. Me cae bien, me cae genial o tal vez incluso me cae mal o me cae muy mal, que es completamente lo opuesto. Y otra vez, si estás hablando directamente con la persona, le dices, por ejemplo, tú me podrías decir a mí, Ana, me agradas o Ana, me caes bien con la letra S. Hasta aquí hablamos.
So the S is at the end if you want to say, I like you. Me caes bien. Me caes, with an S at the end. Me caes bien. Okay? Vale. That is the way we talk to people. It's to say we like them in a
de las
friendly
cosas
way.
Unilaterales, pero ¿qué pasa si es correspondido? Si las dos personas sienten lo mismo. Bueno, si las dos personas sienten atracción el uno por el otro, decimos nos gustamos. Ella y yo nos gustamos. David y yo nos gustamos. Ellos se gustan. Entonces tenemos que usar estos pronombres. Nos, si estás tú, o si estás hablando de dos personas que no son tú, dices se gustan. Ahora, si no hay atracción, simplemente amistad, lo que podemos decir es nos caemos bien, David y yo nos caemos bien o ellos se caen bien. Pero otra forma de expresarlo es usar el verbo llevarse. Nos llevamos bien.
And this is also very, very common, but it's more of a reflexive. It's not that le. Notice it's not a le if you're talking in third person. Nos llevamos bien is like we get along well, which still means we like each other, but it carries the idea more of we get along. Nos llevamos bien, or if you talk about a group of people saying they get along well, ellos se llevan bien, se llevan. But it's more that reflexive and not using, notice that le. So these again are when we talk about people liking each other, getting along with each other, or of course, if you want to say that they don't like each other,
David y yo
you make it
nos
negative.
llevamos bien. Ellas se llevan bien. El contrario sería decir nos llevamos mal o se llevan mal. Para practicar estas expresiones, te recomiendo que dejes un comentario diciéndome.
Okay, y eso es todo. And that's all we really need for that. So I wanted to remind people that even though we're practicing things that are like gustar, verbs that are like gustar, which you're going to do soon in smaller groups, we don't use that gustar to talk about human beings unless it's a physical attraction kind of thing. Okay. Bien. ¿Hay alguna pregunta antes de practicar en grupos pequeños? Do you have any questions you want to bring up about using this before we go into our picture prompts and small groups?
Without being romantic?
Oh, perdón. I'm sorry. I had a little Wi-Fi freeze. Otra vez. Charlie?
Yeah. So how do you say you like somebody without it being a romantic thing?
Without it being a romantic thing, you have a few options. I think the most common one is me cae bien, if you're talking about one person. So I'll give you an example. Un ejemplo. I could say my kid brings home a friend from school. Yeah. Friend of my kids is visiting at our house. And somebody might say, Laura, Laura, la amiga de mi hija, my daughter's friend. Laura, me cae bien. Laura, I like her. Or, esos chicos, those guys, ¿sí? Esos chicos, sí, me caen bien. They fall well on me. Me caen bien. I could also say me agradan. Me agradan. And usually you're talking about one person or a group of people. But if you want to say, I like you, you know, Laura, the girl that I say is nice and I like her, and I'm talking to Laura, I could say, oh, I like you. You're a nice person. Me caes, with an S at the end of caes. Me caes bien. Me caes bien. I like you. Okay. And there's no romantic idea attached to that, just that I like you as a person in a friendly way. Bien? Okay.
So for those verbs that you just went through, the conjugation is not only third person, but it's for whoever it is that you're addressing.
See, yeah, it could be a tu verb for sure, because you know, you just had dinner with somebody and you say, oh, I like you, you're so funny, right? Sí, tú me caes bien. Yeah, that is one where you can use the tu conjugation, and it works very, very well to tell somebody directly, oh, I like you. Okay, buena pregunta. Otra pregunta. ¿Hay otra? No. Okay. Okay. Vamos a ver un poquito aquí. We're going to take a quick look at our opening slide that you're going to be seeing here. ¿Qué te parece? That question literally means, how does it seem to you? But this is, even though it does literally mean, how does it seem to you? This question usually frequently is used in conversation to ask somebody, what do you think about that? All right. ¿Qué te parece? When somebody asks you, ¿qué te parece? They want to know what your reaction is, what you think about something. Even though it doesn't use the verb think, pensar, or creer. It does not use, no, parecer is not to think. But that is how people will ask you, what do you think? And what they want to know is, what's your impression, right? How do you feel about it? So I would like you, we're going to take just a few quick minutes. You're going to go out into a couple of Zoom rooms. I want you to use maybe gustar, but I want you to use something other than gustar if you can. Encantar, or fascinar, or interesar, or importar, or molestar, right? Encantar bumps up the level of gustar, right? Makes gustar more intense. We would say, I love something. Fascinar, something is fascinating to somebody. Interesar, something is interesting to someone. Importar, something is important to, therefore it matters. Okay, when you say something matters in English, that the verb you want to use in Spanish to convey that idea is importar, or molestar, to annoy, to bother, right? So you're going to be using these as encanta or encantan, right? Fascina or fascinan. Interesa, interesan. Importa, importan. Molesta, molestan. If you want to make it negative, you just put a no, right, to lead off. So, no me importa, doesn't matter to me, right? I don't care about it. No me molesta, oh, it doesn't bother me. No me interesa, it doesn't interest me much. Okay, so we can make those negative as well. If that is, if the negative answers that question, ¿qué te parece? What do you think? Right? Sometimes our reaction is positive, sometimes it's negative. Okay, and okay. Bueno, here's our first picture. You're going to talk about two things, right? And you'll get those when you get into the breakout rooms. ¿Cuántos somos aquí? I think I'm just going to let it assign. Ay, momentito, lo siento. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. A ver, ok. No encuentro el botón. I got way too many buttons here. Okay. Let me see. My goal is to get about 3 people per room, probably. Okay, yeah, about 3 people per room. And you will see the picture when you get into your room and hit your join button. Probably only give you about 3 to 5 minutes for 2 pictures. And Lisa, I did not put you in, well, I got you in a room, but it's single, so you can stay here if you like. Okay. A ver. Tengo que usar mi reloj solamente un par de minutos. Really only a couple of minutes for 2 pictures, I think. Oh, okay, Liza, I got, I'm sorry. I read your email correct. Yes, that you wanted to be off just so that you didn't have the noise in the house and, you know,
Yeah.
I think, okay, you're okay with that? Because these are going to
Yes.
be brief. These are all going to be little 2-minute things. Did you want to do any sharing just with me or no?
Well, I could a little bit. I was just okay. Me encantas mi perro. No, that's not. I don't want
Oh,
to say
actually,
that.
we got a couple of pictures. You should be able to see the pictures.
Oh, me
It's
drama.
watching
It was there
a
for a moment.
play or a restaurant that's
Oh.
really, really busy.
Oh, me encanta. No, you say encanto. Me encanto.
No, because if I say encanto, that means I am
Oh.
enchanting to somebody. And what you want to say is, oh, watching a play. I love that. So it has to be encanta. The me,
that's
yes, to tell who it's delightful to.
Okay, all right. Me encanta la drama. It's not in front of me, but I think it was
Sí.
la drama.
Sí,
Yeah.
me encanta la drama. Okay. Or el drama, perdón. Me encanta ver un drama. Me encanta ver un drama. I love seeing a play. Okay.
Yes. Nice.
Un restaurante con mucha gente. A restaurant with a lot of people, like a really packed restaurant. Would you say you like it, you're interested in it, you don't like it at all?
No, is that right? In
So
restaurant.
restaurante would need a singular verb like interesa, molesta, encanta, because it is the thing that is of interest.
No molesta. No molesta. Un restaurante.
Okay, yeah,
Sorry.
okay, so we're gonna want a little me in front of that. No me molesta. It doesn't bother
Oh,
me.
yeah, that's right.
No me molesta.
molesta. Okay,
Bien,
got it.
bien. Okay,
Simple,
good.
but I got it. I finally.
That's okay. Está bien. Well, that's why we have a series of these, because it takes a while to get used to them for sure. Okay, I'm gonna bring everybody back because
Yeah,
really that's
right,
all we
thank
need. Well,
you.
we only had 2
Gracias.
pictures, so do you want to keep doing that with me, or do you want to just have me not join your room?
Well, I guess we'll just
It's up to you.
not do it. It's
Okay.
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 Thank you,
Okay.
though.
Yeah, it's hard when you can't see. It's tough when you're just, ooh, and I have to. I see todos. Here comes everybody. Okay. No. Todos no. Los demás.
The
Esperamos a
pictures
los
went
demás.
away. The
Oh,
pictures.
Yeah.
They did not come into the room at all?
They came and left.
Ah,
They
Oh,
came and
no.
left.
Wow. ¿Qué
Yeah.
And we did
pasó?
those last week, I think. Those ones.
Oh, I want.
Yeah, those last ones we,
Yeah, we
yeah.
had a blip
Yeah,
with that again. Okay. Well, let's take this. I'm sorry. Perdón. Okay, you can see it now. See?
See,
Okay. Got it.
So,
¿Qué
so
pasó?
Marilyn, you confused at least the 3 of us in our group, starting with these photos, because
did them last
your
week.
email said to start with the
4 and 5.
Yeah,
photos
4,
4,
5, and
slides
6.
4 and 5. So we all prepped for different photos.
Yeah, so did we.
Okay.
So did
Okay.
we.
So did
Wow.
we, yeah.
Okay, maybe we should do this together then. I don't know what it's
I
going
tried, here.
We
I
did-
gave it a valiant try.
on. Okay. Okay.
No me interesa ver un drama. Yo prefiero ver, I don't know how to say watch or to see ver football.
Ver, yeah.
Okay.
Watch is usually
The
as
same as see.
yeah, even though mirar does mean watch or look at, when you're watching a show, it's usually ver.
Or ver football.
Ah, qué
No
interesante.
interesa un drama.
Ah, no te interesa ver un drama. Okay. Vale. Hay otra. Okay. Alguna pregunta? Any question about how to use that? Any problem?
I do have, yes.
Sí, Cindy, dime.
Are all of these treated the same way as gustar in avoiding the O,
Mhm.
like me encanto?
Yes, because me encanta would mean I'm delightful to myself.
Okay, and the
I'm
same thing,
delightful to myself, which I'm sure you are.
And Marilyn, I had a question too.
Sí.
You don't really need to use the pronoun all the time either, is what I noticed when I checked my work. It would drop the pronoun. Is that true or no?
Drop, we don't drop the me.
No.
No,
Or the lay or the lace? No?
no, you keep the
Hmm.
pronoun. You keep the pronoun. You
and
definitely keep it.
always the A or the AM, or AN, always those 2 endings with these words.
Yeah, so, if it's ver un drama, and I'll put that back up. If it's ver una acción, we keep it singular. Ah, me encanta ver un drama. Or no me encanta mucho ver un drama, right? Actions, activities, in other words, that infinitive ver requires a singular verb. So, encanta, gusta, fascina, interesa, importa, molesta. Those are the forms you use with a verb, right?
So
And
Marilyn,
sí.
so we had a question. If you wanted to use this sentence, we weren't sure whether to start it with an a. A los estudiantes les encanta ver los actores. Do you
Okay.
need an A before los estudiantes?
Sí, 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 correcto. Tienes razón, you are right. A los estudiantes les encanta ver a los actores. Sí, a los estudiantes. If I want to say the students love it, a los estudiantes les encanta. You don't have to use the a los estudiantes, but it defines, it makes super clear who you mean by that word les, right? So if you don't want to
Right.
talk about I like it, right? But you want to say they like it, it's les encanta. Technically, grammatically, les encanta is enough to have a legitimate, correct sentence. But depending on the context, if it isn't clear who you mean by les, then you need a little a phrase. And usually that leads off the whole thing. A los estudiantes les encanta. A mis amigos les encanta. A mis hijos les encanta. Right. If you use an a phrase, it has to lead off.
Okay.
Or it is better if it leads off, because that is the normal order of word order that people will expect to hear. Sí, eso es.
So I just had a back to my question. I guess when I checked what I answered, we did the paint picture. And it said, I said, ella está molesta por la gris. So she's upset with the gray.
Ah, okay.
So that's a regular congregation
Let-
of that verb.
Let me put this
molestar.
up so people know what you're talking about. Okay, and you wanted to say the gray bothers her.
Right,
She's annoyed with that color gray.
yes.
Okay. A la mujer or a ella le molesta el gris.
Okay,
O
right.
le molesta el color gris. O le molesta la pintura de color gris. She doesn't like the
So-
gray paint.
Okay, so it would be wrong to say ella está molesta?
Oh, está molesta con. Está molesta con.
Cone,
She
okay.
is bothered with this. Yeah.
Okay,
Some people do use, yeah, está molesta, but our objective with this is to get you used to using.
yeah, okay, yeah. I
Yeah,
just- Thank you.
Sí, entiendes, you understand.
Okay,
¿sí?
yeah, I do. Thank you.
Okay, okay, vamos a ver. Let's take a look at these. So, okay, so the problem is these pictures, the picture did not get through. Should we do this one together? Sí?
Sí.
Esto sí. Okay, por ejemplo, si estás hablando de las clases de gastronomía, like, you know, cooking classes, right? ¿Cómo se expresa? How would one express that you like, or you're fascinated with, or you don't like at all? Cooking classes.
A los estudiantes les gustan las clases de gastronomía.
Sí, las clases de gastronomía. Classes, plural, needs a plural verb. So if we want to say they like it, the les tells who likes or who loves it, right? Les gusta, les encantan, right? But the encantan or the gustan or the fascinan has to be plural if we're talking about clases de gastronomía. Entonces, por ejemplo, so for example, a los estudiantes en la foto,
Oh,
the students in the picture, ¿sí? A los estudiantes en la foto, les encantan, les fascinan las clases de gastronomía. ¿Bien?
Bien.
Bien.
Okay, fantástico. Okay, if we want to talk about remodeling or remaking your living space, right? There are different words we might use. It might be renovar, like renovate. It might be reparar, repairing, fixing, right? It might be remodelar. ¿Y cómo te parece? What do you personally think about doing that? Are you
No.
interested? Do you hate it? What do you feel like? Cindy, dime.
No me gusta remodelar cuando me duele la espalda.
Ah, cuando me duele la espalda, when my back is hurting, ¿sí? No me gusta cuando me duele la espalda. Eso es, sí. La verdad, a mí, and if I talk about myself and I want to be emphatic, I can have an a mí in the front. A mí me molesta, renovar la casa.
Oh, sí.
A mí me molesta renovar la casa. ¿Bien? Okay.
A mí molesta.
A mí me molesta. A mí me molesta. The a mí is icing on the cake. I don't have to have the a mí. All right. I just use it to be emphatic. I can also be equally correct just saying me molesta renovar la casa. Bien. Okay. Si hablamos de esto, if we talk about these things, correr un maratón o remar en un kayak.
A mí no me interesa correr en un maratón.
Okay.
A mí no me interesa correr en un maratón. I'm not interested in running a marathon.
A mi hermana, a mi hijo, les encanta correr en la maratón de Chicago.
Sí, bien. Excelente. Bueno, ¿alguien más? Anybody else?
No me interesa ver un maratón.
Es difícil ver un maratón. En la televisión es posible, ¿no?
Sí.
En la televisión es posible, pero en persona solamente hay un lugar y es muy difícil. Sí. A mi cuñado, my brother-in-law, a mi cuñado y a mi sobrina, my niece. A mi cuñado y a mi sobrina les fascina correr en un maratón. También. A mí no me interesa. Porque es tan difícil. Ok. Y bueno, más ideas. Any more ideas about these two, de los dos?
How about les es importante para correr rápido?
¿Les importa correr? It's important to them to run?
It's important correr rápido, to run fast.
Rápido.
Rápido.
O rápidamente.
No posible.
Rápido, sí. 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 A mi sobrina le importa mucho correr rápidamente. Así. La última vez que ella corrió en un maratón, su tiempo fue muy malo. Y ella se enojó mucho. She got really angry. Sí, se enojó mucho. Ok. Bueno, a ustedes aquí en esta clase, ¿les interesa remar en un kayak?
No me interesa aprender.
Danita, no. ¿Sí?
No me interesa aprender a remar en kayak.
Ah, bien, bien. Ok, bueno.
Me gusta hacer kayak en las montañas.
En las montañas, sí, están casi en las montañas aquí, están en un río, sí, están en un río, cerca de las montañas, sí,
Sí.
eso es. Ok, a ver, y vamos a hablar de esto. Dar una caminata o el béisbol, solamente el béisbol.
Muchas personas les interesa caminar en las montañas.
A muchas personas les interesa dar una caminata, sí, dar una caminata, hike, literally give a walk, yeah, dar una caminata. En algunos países, in some countries, they are starting to use some different words for hike, like hacer trekking, trek, yeah, a trek. Yeah, a veces se usa. Sometimes you hear the word trekking or trek. Sí, hacer trek, sí, hacer trekking for hiking activity. Ok. Bueno, algo más.
A mí me encanta caminata en las montañas.
Ok, bien. A mi familia le interesa dar una caminata muchas veces, ¿ok?
Me gusta el béisbol por la siesta.
Nap?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, bien. Vale, bueno. So, as you heard, you can use an phrase. You can use an phrase or, but that is optional. Okay, let's take a look at this last part. Now, I'm going to let you guys do a longer session with each other on this last part because this is extensive. Yeah, ocho, there are 8 good things to talk about here. And we're just going to make sure everybody understands. What you're going to be doing is filling in something at the end, right? See if you can fill in an idea with a noun or a verb. It can go either way. And add some extra information. And I'll use number 1 as an example, okay? Me parece muy difícil. Me parece muy difícil. It seems really difficult to me. Well, doing what seems very difficult to me? Or maybe
Español.
Okay. We'll use that as our example. And then I want you to embellish a little and give a little por qué. So what I want you to do is we're going to take the first 4 of these first, the first 4, because 8 is kind of a long time. So we're going to divide this off into halves, right? You're going to go off into a small group and do the first 4, and then you'll do the last 4 from 5 through 8. So we're going to take a look at 1, 2, 3, y 4. Y el ejemplo en 1 es, me parece muy difícil hablar español. ¿Por qué? ¿Por qué? Porque la gramática es distinta. The grammar is different.
Yeah.
¿Sí? Por ejemplo. ¿Sí? Me parece muy difícil hablar español porque porque la gramática es difícil, porque no recuerdo las palabras. I don't remember all the words, see? Okay. Bien, okay. A ver, so that is what you will see, and hopefully that gets sent into your rooms. Somebody signal me if it does not. But we're going to send you back into breakout rooms and you're going to do 1 through 4. Okay, entienden, understand?
Sí.
See, okay. And you're going to be using just those first 4. I'm going to give you, I think, 5 minutes or so, 5, 7 minutes, maybe 7. And I will get the share screen on. Hopefully we got, okay, this should work. This should work. Share, yay, okay. Okay. Oops. I'm just making sure all my rooms are opened up. See, okay, and I've got everybody. Assigned to a room. Oh. And Kathy, I need to assign you into a room.
Got it.
Okay. Sometimes when we have some pop-ins and pop-outs or a recently joined person that doesn't quite go in. Okay, a ver. Okay, el reloj. Cinco minutos. I think we're going to give people close to about 5 to 6 minutes on the first 4. Y sí pueden ver. Yes, they can all see that. It is showing me that the share is working. So I'm going to verify with everybody when we get back that in fact that works. Okay, pronto. Soon we'll bring people back. Okay,
I hit the button too fast.
that's okay.
So did I.
Está bien. That's good.
I left my
We're
room
good
too
bringing everybody
I know,
back.
I was in the middle of talking.
Overly enthusiastic.
I just wanted to get that button out of the way, you know, because it was right on my screen.
Okay.
Marilyn, when you talk about the weather, calor or caliente? ¿Es calor or caliente?
Depende. Could be caluroso as well. Por ejemplo,
Because I
me
love
parece difícil el calor del verano en Arizona. The heat of summer heat in Arizona seems difficult to me. Me parece muy, sí.
And do you use S or a está with that? Because it's always the same. It's a permanent.
Pues, okay. El calor would just mean the heat, okay? Pero, por ejemplo, hot weather, el tiempo caluroso, hot weather, okay? Yeah, you have to be a little bit difficult or a little bit careful with caliente. Don't use caliente to talk about yourself, but talking about the weather, yeah. El tiempo caluroso, sí, cuando hace calor, you know, hace calor is really what is more frequently used to say, it's hot outside.
Yeah.
Hace calor.
So if like the reason you gave for you don't like something, I was gonna say golf, porque el tiempo eso está demasiado calor.
Porque hace demasiado calor. Because it's too hot. ¿Sí? Porque la temperatura es muy calurosa. Porque sí, está caluroso afuera. It's hot outside. Sí. Okay.
Marilyn?
Sí.
I had a question about, I was using for number 4, las noticias, news. Noticias. Is that a plural or singular? Is news? Because I was
Plural. Yeah, plural.
Okay, so I used molestan las noticias. Okay.
Sí, les molestan las noticias. The news is very annoying to them. Les molestan las noticias. Just like we use news as plural in English, they use news as plural in Spanish also. Las noticias. Sí, buena pregunta. Good question. Okay, hay más preguntas. Any other questions you had coming out of that? Sí o no?
Yeah, I just have a question.
Sí, sí.
if I say a mi amiga la encanta porque ella es amable, amable, ella es amable.
Es amable, she's nice, but a mi amiga le encanta, I have to name a thing. I can't just say, well, I could say le encanta, she likes, but then without any context, I don't know what it is she likes. I have to name a thing. So, por ejemplo, a mi amiga le encanta, le encanta, le encanta cocinar. She loves to cook. A mi amiga le encanta la comida italiana. She loves Italian food. See?
I thought I was saying that I
have to name the
that I
thing
like
she
my friend
loves.
because they're kind or something.
Yeah.
I was trying to say I like my friend because they're kind.
Oh, you like your friend?
Because she's kind. I thought
Okay,
that's
so now we got a human being. Let's go back. What do we use for a human being? We weren't really using cantar. We'll use
me gusta. Yeah.
no, because when you like your friend, it's a non-romantic. Yeah. Yeah. So let's pull that up. I want to say I like my friend. I like my friend because she is nice. Well, that's a very normal thing to want to say about somebody, right? Okay. Entonces, sí. I like my friend. Okay. Me encanta. Oh no, me encanta. Wait, I like my friend. Me cae bien. Me cae bien. Me cae bien. Mi amiga. Porque es muy amable.
You wouldn't say a mi amiga? A mi amiga?
No.
No.
Because
okay.
my friend is the one who falls well on me.
Okay.
Oh, now this is why, let's take a look at this. This is why these are called, by some native speakers especially like to make videos phrasing it this way, backwards verbs. Backwards, because in English we say, well, no, I don't know. Well, they're backwards verbs. They're backwards because the friend, mi amiga, that is what causes me to conjugate cae, the way it is conjugated. Me cae bien mi amiga. My friend falls well on me. So they're backwards verbs because we're conjugating cae according to the word that comes really after the verb. You know, that's not normally the word order that you're used to. You're used to a noun, a subject of a sentence, and a verb. And the subject determines what we do with the verb, right? But here we kind of invert that word order. Me cae bien mi amiga. Right? And we don't need an there.
Okay.
Mi amiga is the one who's doing cae, falling well. Or we say I like. And the other way you can use that, which is a little shorter phrase really, me agrada. Me agrada mi amiga. Okay, so that is equally conveys the same idea. Me agrada mi amiga porque es muy amable. Okay, both of those say, I like my friend. Okay, if I want to intense, like say, I like her a lot. I like her as a person a lot. Me agrada mucho. Me agrada mucho. Okay, so yeah, eso es. Bien. Okay, otra pregunta o no?
Sí.
Sí, Cindy. Dime.
I said on number 3, and we were, I was wondering if I needed to conjugate the last one. I said, no entiendo que muchas personas les interesan, I never say that right,
Interesa.
correr porque no me gusta. Do I have to put the N at the end of gustan to make it match with interesan? No.
Les interesa correr.
Oh, A, just A.
Les
Ah,
interesa
interesa.
correr. They're
Okay.
interested, right? Right. In English, we say they're interested in running. You don't need
Running.
an in.
Okay.
Les interesa correr. Running interests them.
Then.
Yeah.
Gracias.
Right? And it's a backwards verbs because running is the thing that is interesting, but that correr is, that determines that we need the verb to look like interesa.
Interesa. Okay.
Interesa, right.
Gracias.
An action gets a singular verb. Interesa matches up with correr. Les interesa correr.
Okay.
Running is interesting to them.
Okay.
Okay.
Gracias.
Or in English, you know, and yeah, our English kind of gets in the way because we might say they're interested in running interests them. Yeah, well, we may, legitimate, but we may not say it quite as much, right?
Right.
But it's just les interesa correr. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Gracias.
We're going to take a quick
Very good,
look.
very good.
Oh, sí, Tomás, perdón. Gracias.
More on pronunciation, I believe. So I'm trying to use the word voting, votación,
Voting?
voting, sí,
Votar.
votación.
Votar.
But voting, so can I say votación?
No, votar. Boom.
Okay, so votar es interesa y importante para nosotros y nuestro estado. So it's important.
Okay.
It's important to us and the state.
Okay. We'll simplify that.
Okay.
To us, Tomás. Okay.
Sí.
Nos interesa votar. Nos interesa votar.
Okay.
We're interested in voting. See, nos importa votar. Nos importa y nos interesa votar. Okay. When we use voting, we're using it as a noun. In English, we can say voting, right? And we say voting is a civic duty. Voting is important. Okay. But when I use voting not as a verb, but I use it as an activity, it stays votar.
Votar. Okay.
Votar. And yeah, that's what it does. I can't use, normally you think of ing as ando, like nos interesa votando, you can't say. Nos interesa, nos importa, it's important to us, nos importa votar por nuestro estado, on account of our state, okay? Por la comunidad, for the community, ¿sí? Eso es. Okay, buena pregunta, muy buena pregunta. That's a good question, because we just use the not conjugated infinitive to express that idea. Okay, I want to preview our second set of questions here, because there's one verb in here in particular that you just have a little snippet of a video on, but you may have forgotten it. It's a very, very odd one. Okay, not number 5, but number 6, but we're going to take a look. Me fascina or me fascinan. You're going to say whatever it is that fascinates you, okay? And why? Porque, because. And a mi esposo or a mi esposa le da rabia. Rabia is rage. Okay, rage. But when we say le da rabia, something makes them angry. Okay, this is the oddball one that you have the little snippet of a video on for homework last week. Me da rabia. Me da rabia. It makes me mad. It makes me angry. Okay. Me da rabia. Literally, think of rabies. Mad dogs. Why do you think? Oh, that old thing. Yeah, mad dogs. Mad dogs were dogs that had rabies, right? Yeah. We don't see that in the wild very much. Wow, unless you're really out in the wild, and in that case, stay away from that animal. But that word rabies comes from that thing, rabia. Yeah, believe it or not, it really, because mad dog disease. Yeah, okay, that kind of rage. Think road rage. Yeah, rabia is rage, and when we use dar with a noun like rabia, rage, it means something makes me just fly off the handle. Me da rabia. But now you're going to be talking about somebody else, what makes them mad. Okay. Okay. Bien. Le da rabia. And you'll give maybe a why. A mi familia no le importa. A mi familia no le importan. Why do we have a le if we've got familia there, folks?
Because you're trying to be more specific.
Because familia is
a
like,
singular.
yeah, familia is a singular unit, right? Now, you might hear somebody responding with a les importa if they're thinking visually, literally envisioning all the people in their family. So you could use a les to answer that, or you could use a le. But technically, if you use a mi familia, it should be le. A mi familia no le importa, or a mi familia no le importan, and sea porque. Okay. And you know what? I'm going to take one little thing out. I'm going to take that que out because technically that does something you don't. Okay. Nos parece mala idea. It seems a bad idea to us. I want you to use a verb here. And, you know, if you didn't prep it with a verb, that's okay. Go with it. But, por ejemplo, nos parece mala idea. Nos parece mala idea pintar la casa en el verano en Arizona. Seems like a bad idea to us to paint your house in the middle of the summer. Nos parece aquí en Arizona, nos parece mala idea. En Michigan, nos parece buena idea pintar la casa en el verano, ¿sí? Claro, pero aquí en Arizona nos parece mala idea pintar la casa en el verano. Wow, ¿sí? El olor de la pintura. Wow, the smell of paint. ¡Goy! Dentro de la casa es horrible. Ok, bien. Bueno, 5. You got 5. I wanted to preview though because that da rabia is a special thing. Something gives you rage, meaning it makes you spitting mad. Okay, and we'll give you about, was 5 minutes enough? Sí. Es suficiente, son suficientes, ¿sí? Sí. Okay, yes. Bien. We'll send you back out for that. And I'm going to make sure I open up the share screen with this, hit all the right buttons. And yes, sí. A ver. Okay. Tengo que arreglar mi reloj. I gotta fix my watch, get that time set up. Sí, para 5 minutos, 5, quizás 6, quizás 7. Quizás 2 minutos, maybe 2 more minutes. Okay. Aquí vienen más. Here comes some more folks. Vale, bueno. We'll see what kind of questions you have, what kind of examples you might want to share. Kathy, did it send you into a room or?
Yes, yeah, and I'm hitting leave, but I've had technical problems during this session, so I'll try again.
Okay, perdón. Okay. A ver, aquí vienen. Here comes everybody. Okay. Vale. Bueno. A ver. Okay. I want to see if you have some good examples to share from this last bit here. Any fun or funny examples that you want to share from the me fascina or the le da rabia or no le importa or nos parece?
Una pregunta.
Sí.
Me fascina cuando la gente trabaja porque me gustó adorno.
Ah, sí, ok. Bien. Bueno, hay otra pregunta. Any other question? I heard other questions coming up.
You can just say, so for number 8, nos parece mala idea. Beber y conducir, or do I have to put anything else in there?
Just conducir. Nos parece mala idea conducir en Phoenix?
Y
I
beber.
was saying beber.
Oh, y beber. Sí, sí, sí,
And
sí.
drive.
Sí. Nos parece mala idea conducir y beber alcohol.
There you go.
Sí, sí. Nos parece mala idea beber alcohol y conducir. Exacto. Muy bien. ¿Qué más? What other?
I had a question for what's the best word for dishwasher?
Oh, lavaplatos. Or there are two, lavavajillas or lavaplatos. For most English speakers, lavaplatos is a little easier to say.
It is.
Lavavajillas.
But the one I got was lavavajillas. So for that, for number 6, a mi esposa le da rabia cuando no pongo los platos en el lavavajillas.
Ah, bien, ok, sí. Me da rabia cuando no hay espacio en el lavavajillas, sí. Sí, yeah, it bothers me when there's not space in there, sí. Eso, muy bien. Otros ejemplos.
Una pregunta.
Sí, dime.
8. ¿Nos parece mala idea no llevarse botas en la nieve? Would you not to wear boots? Do you have to have llevarse, or is it ponerse, or which verb do you use?
Okay. ¿Nos parece mala idea ponerse botas, putting on boots? Sí.
We think it's a bad idea not to put on. So no ponerse.
No ponerse las botas.
Right.
O llevar o no llevar las botas.
No llevar.
Sí, igual,
Okay.
sí. Ponerse botas, no llevar botas, las botas, no tener puestas las botas. Also, people say like wearing could be tener puestas las botas.
Okay.
Which is kind of an odd, it sounds like an odd construction, but it's more common in, I think, Latin America. No tener puestas, not to have on, and the puestas is the have on part, because you're talking about boots. No tener puestas las botas. Bien. Okay. Otras ideas, other interesting ideas, ¿sí o no? Otras preguntas or other questions? No? Okay. And if you have any questions, feel free to interrupt me. Okay. A ver. I want to kind of put a cap on this in a way by letting you know, we're not going to get too deep into the weeds, but you should know that there are a lot of verbs. It is kind of impossible for me to say, here are all the verbs that will be like gustar, because there are quite a few. There are quite a few of these verbs. So I'm going to tag on to the end of this bit a few things that you might hear, just so that you know, because sometimes people are kind of taken aback with verbs that they hear that are used in this way, because they're expecting a yo ending or a tú ending or a nosotros ending, and then they don't hear that on the verb and they think, how are they using that verb? And there are quite a few verbs. It's kind of impossible for me to give you an entire list. But I'm going to give you a few add-ons of things you may hear with maybe some examples. Okay, a ver. So let me share this screen with you and you'll get this list. And I haven't put this on the practice because these are maybe a little more difficult and I wanted to give you easy practice. But, por ejemplo, for an example, quedar has a bunch of meanings. And quite often, quedar is used like these verbs that are like gustar, to say that you have something left over. Or well, maybe over, but just have something left. And I'll give you an example. Oh, ay, perdón. Por ejemplo, me quedan solo $5. I want to talk about how much money I have left over. Me quedan solo $5. Only $5 remain to me, meaning that's what I got left over. Okay. Or somebody might say, no me queda leche. I haven't got any milk left. It's all gone. Yeah. When somebody means that something is all gone, they might make it negative. No me queda, and then they'll name the item. This thing doesn't remain to me. Quedar technically means to remain, to be left over. You may hear quedar used this way. You may hear costar used this way. Costar means to cost. And you're used to hearing a question like, ¿cuánto cuesta el celular? How much does a cell phone cost, right? But sometimes people may use costar to say that something is difficult. Okay, and I'll give you an example, un ejemplo. Me cuesta entender el alemán. It's hard for me to understand German. Me cuesta. Literally, it costs me, meaning it's hard for me to do this. Just like costar, in the same way, people may use dificultar to say that to be difficult. So you may hear somebody using, por ejemplo, me dificulta calcular los impuestos. It's hard for me, calculator, wow, calcular, perdón. How did my fingers do that? Me dificulta calcular los impuestos. It is difficult for me to calculate, to add up, right, to figure out the taxes. Me dificulta calcular. So you may hear really a multitude of verbs that are used like gustar. There's no way for me to give you, well, here's a list and that's all you need to know. You know, people will kind of throw these out. I'm going to add two more, and one I think is going to be, I think that there's a video that came up literally just minutes before we had class, and it's probably going to be good. I have to preview it yet. Sometimes even a verb like alegrar, to make happy. Yeah. And some of them wind up being double duty verbs. Like I can say, I am happy about. I am happy that you feel better.
Oh.
right? This is something we say to friends when we know they're recovering, right? Oh, I'm happy that you feel better. And the way you would say that is to use it like a regular reflexive verb. So the way you would express that would be, what I'm showing you is that there are two ways you may hear this. Way number one is, me alegro de que estés mejor. I'm happy that you're better, right? I'm happy that you're better, you're recovered, you're feeling better. And there it is reflexive. I myself feel happy about this fact. Me alegro de que estés mejor. I'm happy that you are better. Don't worry about the estés part. That's a subjunctive thing, but that's okay. But you may also get a double duty with alegrar. It might be just alegrar, meaning something, not saying that I am happy about it, but saying that something makes me happy. Something makes me happy. Okay, por ejemplo, me alegra, me alegra visitar a mis parientes, right? Visiting my relatives causes joy to me, is literally what that is saying. So some verbs like alegrar are kind of double-edged. They might be used as a gustar verb is used. Me alegra visitar a mis parientes, right? Visiting these people, that causes happiness to me. Or we might use the same, what looks like the same verb, and it's almost the same verb as a reflexive. I myself feel happy that you are better. So some verbs do some double duty like that. Alegrar is one of them. The other one that often does kind of double duty, I want to type it in here, is sorprender, just to give you an idea. Okay, I'm trying to make a little more space. You might hear sorprender used as you would use gustar. You might hear sorprender used as a reflexive. It's kind of a double-edged thing. It depends on what somebody intends to say. They might say, oh, the weather here really surprises me. Wow, this weather is really surprising to me. And then it'll be a verb like gustar. Me sorprende el clima de hoy. Today's weather surprises me. Me sorprende el clima de hoy. Me sorprende. The weather is causing surprise inside of me. Me sorprende el clima de hoy. But sorprender can also be used reflexively, so don't be surprised if you hear it that way. Like, me sorprendo que tenemos temperaturas tan bajas. I am surprised about the fact that we have such low temperatures. So don't be surprised, once in a while you'll see some verbs kind of doing that double duty kind of thing. Yeah, see, there's going to be a little video. I have to preview it first, but I think it will kind of illustrate some of those. Okay, está bien? Good so far? See? Bien. Okay. what I'm going to do is, son las 11. Wow, it's 11 already. I want to spend a little time next week on a different kind of pronoun, just a little time to remind people what the not the le and the les are, but what the lo, la, los, las are. Yeah. So direct object pronouns, okay, and doing a little practice on that. So I'll send you a little primer on that in the email about why that's a different set of pronouns and how we use them. Whereas you've noticed a lot and you've had a lot of questions on, and we've kind of been reinforcing it little by little. Quite often with that le or les word, we often have an a phrase to tell us specifically who we mean by le and les. We will not do that when we come to direct objects. So the job of the little pronouns, which can still be me, te, or nos, but now instead of le and les, they'll be lo or los, la or las. They have kind of a different job, and their job is to stand in, represent an item so that you don't have to keep repeating it. And so, whereas it is okay to be redundant, repetitive with le or les by having that little a phrase, you will never be redundant with the direct objects where we use a lo, a los, a la, or a las. Okay, quick example. Mi celular ahora es un celular viejo. Wow, my cell phone is now old. The next time I talk about cell phone, I don't want to say, my cell phone is an Android. My cell phone is, I have it here in my hand. I want to just say it. And now I can't use the le or les because it is representing a thing, right? So it'll be el celular. It has to use an actual gendered pronoun. It'll become lo. It will become lo. Lo tengo. Mi celular es muy viejo. Lo tengo en la mano. I have it in my hand.
Lo.
Sí. Lo ven ustedes? Do you see it? Yeah. But literally, do you guys see? Lo ven ustedes? Do you guys see it?
Never.
Lo ven. Okay. So we're going to work with those a little bit. Lola, los, las might talk about human beings, but often talk about things. They talk about things. Okay. So we don't use le or les to talk about those. And we'll practice those a little bit next week. ¿Está bien? Good.
Está bien.
Bien?
Gracias.
Okay.
Gracias.
Okay. De nada. Okay. Espero que tengan buena semana. I hope you guys have a good week.
También. You say
Gracias.
Adiós.
Adiós.
Que tenga un buen día.
Gracias. Y tú también.